As you know, Ryan's a trainer. I'm the yoga teacher. This is part of our lifestyle. This is what we do on a daily, and we invite you to join us. Many of us have been putting things off that we wanted to do forever, and now we have this time to figure out what we love to do. And take the time to enjoy yourself, see the positive in this break that we have, to spend time with family, spend times with ourselves. Yeah, all that stuff that we've been putting off, take advantage of these moments and see the positive in it. We'll be starting shortly, and we'll get rolling. All right, everyone take a moment to lay on your mat, flat on your backs. Come to a relaxation pose, just lay on your back. You're gonna put your right hand on your belly, left hand on your chest. It's a little cold in here, so we're gonna try to warm things up slowly. So in our relaxation pose, you're laying down. Right hand on the stomach, left hand on the chest. And we'll just lay here and just breathe normally. Just recognize your breath. Your eyes closed. Feel your belly pressing into your stomach. Feel your belly rise as the air comes in and feel it go down as you exhale. Feel it rise. And feel it exhale. Yoga means union, and our breath is gonna unite with our physical movements. We're going to become conscious of that. So as you inhale, notice the breath coming into the nose, down the throat, filling the lungs, diaphragm as your belly raises. And notice as it slowly exhales as your stomach goes down, your chest compresses, the air comes up through the throat and out your nose. Be mindful of that breath. We'll start to take an inhale on the count of 4, 3, 2, and 1, and hold it for 3, 2, 1, and exhale. 4, 3, 2, 1, and hold. 3, 2, 1. Inhale. 4, 3, 2, 1, and hold. 3, 2, 1. Exhale. 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold. 3, 2, and 1. Continue that breath on your own. As you inhale, with your eyes closed, take your eyes up to your third eye, the center of your forehead, as you inhale for your 4 seconds and hold. And when you exhale, take your gaze down to your heart for that 4 seconds and hold. This is our union. This is the breath uniting with the movement of the body. Throughout our class, we want to be mindful of the breath, on our inhales and our exhales, as we move in our flow. As you inhale, we'll begin to raise the arms and pointing the toes. For 4 seconds, when you do that, you'll feel your back lift off the floor and hold it. And then on our exhale, we'll lower the hands back down to the sides as we pull our toes up towards our faces. And hold it. Inhale for 4, pointing the toes, lifting the hands. And exhale, bringing the hands down to the sides. Pulling the toes back towards you. And hold it. Inhale, lift the arms. 4. And exhale the hands back down to the sides for 4. Pulling the toes back towards you. This is just getting the spine starting to warm up. Slowly bend your knees, bring your feet underneath your knees, same position. And as we lift our hands for our 4 count, we're going to slowly lift the hips. And as we lower down the 4 count, we'll bring our hands down to the sides, and we'll lift our head looking between our knees, creating a slight little curvature in the spine. And then inhale, lift the hips. And exhale it down, look between the knees. Inhale, lift. Exhale down. From here, we're going to straighten our legs back out. On the inhale, we're going to pull our right knee to our chest, hugging it tightly towards us, rotating the ankles, rotating the knee and the hip a little bit. A little movement, getting that flow going, getting that lubrication in the hips. Take our right hand to the floor, take our left hand on the outside of our left knee, and we'll slowly pull it over to the left side of the body, rolling onto the left side of the hip. Don't force it, just allow your left hand to weigh on top of the leg. Don't force anything. Think of the body as a book or a story. The body's going to let you know what's going on. Just take a moment to listen and watch and feel. We're not forcing anything this morning. We're just letting the body weigh on itself. We'll bring our knee back up as we come onto our back. Extend the right leg back to the floor, pulling the left knee to the chest. Circle the ankles. Roll the knee, wiggling the hip a little bit. Take the left hand to the floor to support yourself. Take the right hand on the outside of the left knee. And just roll into the right side of the body. Allowing that right hand just to weigh on the leg. Cause a slight little twist. Saying good morning. Deep inhale, come back to your breath. Feel the stretch, and exhale. Coming back onto your back, pull the right knee to the chest, holding both knees, hugging them tightly. Lowering the sacrum to the mat. That's that flat space just below or just on your back of your hips. Pulling the knees in just to feel that stretch in the lower spine. We'll lift it up a little bit and we'll start a little rock, just rolling on the back. We'll speed that roll up, just massaging the spine. And then we'll come up to a seat with our legs bent. Extending your legs out in front of you. We'll plant our hands on the sides as we elongate our spine. I'll do a little crunch here. Slowly pull the knees to the chest, cross the right over the left, pulling the knees back towards the stomach, pull the heels towards the butt, crunch it, hold it, exhale, slowly place the feet back onto the mat. Take a breath, and exhale everything out. All right, slowly we're going to draw the knees left over the right. Little crunch, pulling the knees tight, heels to the butt. Very good. And slowly extend it out. We're doing one time on the right side. Bring the knees slowly to the chest, right over the left ankle. Crunch. And extend them out again. One time, left foot over the right. Slowly bringing your legs in. Feel a little burn, just trying to warm the body up. Crunch it in. And extend it out. This time we're going to bring the right over the left and we'll come into a cross-leg pose. Sitting up tall. Take a deep inhale. As we take our inhale, we'll look up. And on our exhale, we'll roll down, letting the spine curl, letting the belly come in, stretching the shoulders as we let the body fall back. Inhale, lift. And exhale it out. Inhale to lift. And exhale it out. One more, inhale, lift. And exhale it out. Inhale, we'll come to a neutral spine. When I say neutral, it doesn't mean just like flump into it. Keep a firm stomach, belly tucked in. We're gonna take our left hand, place it on the outside of our left knee. Taking our right hand behind us, flat on the floor. Use your right hand to support yourself, extending it straight. Facing forward, take a deep inhale. And on the exhale, use the left hand to press into the thigh and put a nice little twist. Inhale back to the front. And exhale, twist. Inhale to the front. Exhale, twist it out. Stay twisted and we'll slowly lower the left ear to the left shoulder. Feeling that stretch on the right side of the neck down to the trap. You can begin to move the chin down to the chest with a bit to the side, just getting a little stretch in the neck. Just waking up the neck from resting on those pillows all night. We'll come back up to neutral. We'll come back to the front. Place your hands on the sides. Slowly rock back, lift the legs, switch the legs, left in front of the right. Get the right hand outside of the left knee. Left hand behind you for support, pressing firmly into the floor, sitting up tall, facing forward, take a deep inhale, and then exhale, twist it out. Not forcing anything, just letting the body go where it can. Inhale back to the front, exhale, twist it out. One more time to the front, exhale, twist it out. Allowing the right ear to fall to the right shoulder. Again, stretching out the neck and the traps. Begin to roll the chin down to the chest. Just waking up the neck and the muscles on the side of the neck. Come back to neutral. Take your hands to the floor in front of you. Slowly roll over and we'll come to our table pose. In our table pose, we want our wrists directly under our shoulders, stacking the bones, the shoulder on top of the elbow, elbow on top of the wrist, with the energy going out through the fingertips. Don't allow it to smash into your wrist. You want to stack the bones to keep the muscles from fatiguing themselves. We're going to have our knees directly under our hips, our feet flat into the floor. Let's just wake our feet up by patting them into the mat a little bit. Keep some blood flowing down in there. Again, keeping that neutral spine, belly tight, pulled in. Slow the feet down, pressing firmly into the palms, the knees and the feet. Slowly drop the belly. Envision how a cow's belly looks. Feeling the abdomen stretch. Let the belly drop, the tail lift, shoulders slide down the back, and slowly take your gaze up as you inhale. And as you exhale, you're gonna lift the spine like a cat, a scared cat, like a string is pulling your back up to the ceiling, pressing firmly into the feet, knees, and hands. Take your gaze between your knees. Lower the belly, inhale back into the cow pose. Last thing to lift is your head as you inhale. And exhale. Inhale, lift, dropping the belly. Feeling that stretch in the abdomen. And pressing firmly into the palms, curling the spine, taking the gaze between the legs. Breathe it out. Inhale, lift it up, dropping the belly. And exhale it out. We'll come to our neutral spine. Once again, keeping this firm, belly's pulled in tight. We're gonna lift our right arm out in front of us, keeping our shoulders stacked over our wrist on the left side. We're gonna extend our left leg onto our toes, toes on the floor. And we'll slowly lift the leg, creating the arms and leg parallel. And take an inhale, and on your exhale, you're gonna bring your elbow to your knee, underneath the body. Crunch it underneath. Inhale, extend. Exhale, crunch. Inhale, extend. Exhale, and crunch. Inhale, extend. Exhale, and crunch. Placing the knee back on the floor, right hand back in front of you. We'll do the left side. On the inhale, we'll extend. Reaching the right leg back on the toes. Reaching forward with the right hand, pressing the heel firmly behind you. Begin to lift the leg parallel to the right arm, the left arm, I'm sorry. Inhale, reach. And exhale, crunch. Inhale, reach. Exhale, and crunch. Inhale, extend. Exhale, crunch it. Inhale, extend. And exhale, crunch. Bringing that hand back to the mat. Hands under the shoulders. We're going to take the left foot behind us, extend it long, press it into the left heel. We're going to drop that left ankle, pivot it over towards you. So we have an alignment with our left ankle with our right knee. Kick this right leg out for support. Making sure the knee is directly under the hip, straight line there. We're going to lift this right arm straight up to the sky. And then we're going to just drop it over the head and just let it fall. Little shoulder rotations. Just let them rotate around. One more rotation. When you're in this position, you want the weight to come to the outside of the left foot. So all you're pushing up to lift the body. There you go. As you come back up to the top, stop. And then we're going to drop it back the other way. Just waking the shoulder up, opening the chest. One more round, come up high, hold the hand up high. Allow yourself to fall back a little bit, let that left arm fall back, stretching the chest. And then we'll bring the left hand back to the floor. Bring the left knee to the floor to meet the right. Come into our neutral spine again. We'll extend the right leg back on top of the toes, pressing the heel back. Then allow that leg to rotate, pivot to the floor. Keep the left leg out, creating that straight line from the ankle to the knee. Hip over the knee here. Pressure going into the outside of the foot. We'll lift that right arm to the sky. Feeling that stretch coming down the side of the body. And we'll just drop that right arm over the top. Rotating in, allowing it to come up. Rotation. As you come to the top, we'll stop. And we'll come back the other way. Bring it underneath you. Stretching it up high. And that extension from the outside of the right foot coming up to the ribs, to the fingertips. One more rotation. Come up high. Other hand extend back, stretching the chest, opening up. And exhale, bring the hand back to the floor. Come back to our tabletop. In this position, let's see what we can do. We'll bring our palms out in front of us, one hand put in front. So there's a slight angle from the shoulders. Keeping your hips over the knees. I'm going to slowly drop the chest as you bend your elbows tight towards the ribs, keeping the butt up. Bring your chest and chin to the floor. Take a deep inhale. And then exhale, allow your chest to slide through your arms, lifting your chest slowly. I'm going to place your hands with your elbows, coming into a little Sphinx pose. In our Sphinx pose, we're going to press firmly into the tops of our toes, pressing into the mat. Slight internal rotation in the thighs, pressing firmly, shoulders down the back, shoulders directly over the elbows, hands planted. In this position, we want to feel the motion of our elbows actually sliding back as our ribs come through our chest, creating a nice little stretch in the lower back. Take the gaze slightly in front of your fingers. Take an inhale, pull the chest through. exhale, we'll lower it down. Inhale, lift it up with that sliding motion of the elbows and forearms, pulling the chest through. And exhale, lower it down. One more, inhale, lift it up. And exhale, lower it down. We're gonna replace our elbows with our palms right next to our rib cages, elbows tight. This is our little cobra pose. Same action. Hands are gonna feel like they're sliding back as we pull our ribs through on the inhale. Inhale, lift. Keeping it low, just the back is coming up. Bending the elbows, lower down. Remember to press those toes into the floor, staying firm. Lift up. Exhale, lower down. For a little challenge, lift the palms off the floor this time as we lift up. Inhale. Exhale, lower down. Last one, inhale, lift, palms up. Exhale, lower down. We're gonna come back up to our table pose. Bring our hands underneath our chest, on my shoulders. Let's come up into a little plank. I don't know about you guys, but it's a little chilly in this garage. So we'll sit here for a little bit. I'm thanking you, Ryan. We're gonna warm up a little bit. We'll hold this position for a little while just to get things warmed up before we move forward. Spreading the fingers is really key. Keeping the fingers spread wide. As I said before, stacking the bones, allowing the pressure to come down and spread through the fingertips. Keeping the weight off the wrist. Press the fingers firmly into your mat. And particularly the index finger and the thumb is where a lot of pressure you want to keep. And keep the weight off the wrist. You can hold it anytime you need. You can come down to your knees in your plank. Just to hold it, hold your position. Slowly allow your butt to fall back towards your heels as you curl your toes underneath you, pressing firmly into your fingertips. Low stretch in the lower back. And slowly begin to lift the knees off the mat as you push back. Like a little low crunch there. Allowing your belly to press against the thighs. Slowly begin to lift the butt a little bit, still keeping that deep bend. Keep our belly pressed on our thighs. Firmly pressing our fingertips. Keeping the weight off the wrist. I'm gonna come over here and show you a little bit. Extend straight back to the arms. Fingers pressing firmly, thumbs spread wide. Keeping that belly on the thighs. I'm gonna slowly straighten the right leg with the left leg bent. Keep it down, keep it flat. Keep your toes where they are, right here. And slowly straighten this leg. Feeling that stretch in the hamstring as you press back. So that stretch in the back of the leg here from our downward dog. And slowly bend that right knee back, belly on the thighs, and then straighten the left leg. Feeling that stretch in the back of the lower left side of the back, the hamstring. Your intention is to bring the heel to the mat, but it doesn't have to reach there. Just go where your body wants to go today. Bend the left knee again, and straightening out the right. One more time. Bend the knee, straightening out the left. Last one on the right side. Bend the left leg, straighten the right leg. Bend the right knee, straighten the left. And then slowly begin to come to the tops of the toes. And then lowering those heels as much as you can from our downward dog position. Our downward dog position is basically like a V shape, upside down. Allowing the weight to come to the fingertips and then pressing into the heels. You want to keep most of your weight dropping into your legs as best as you can. From here, as we have our downward dog, we'll slowly lift our right leg parallel to the floor. Pressing firmly into the heel, keeping that V shape, and just pulse the right leg. Just let it bounce, like maybe 3 inches or so up and down. Again, you should help with the hamstring on the left side. You should feel a nice stretch. Let's replace that foot. Bring it back to the left. Lifting the left leg slowly and just pulse. Coming back to your downward dog with both feet next to each other, pressing firmly into the fingertips. Hips lifted high. Lift our right leg up, pressing it firmly back. And we'll come into the plank pose, slowly bringing that right knee to right elbow. Take a breath there, and then we'll press it on back, pushing that leg straight back. Inhale. And on the exhale, bring the right knee to the left elbow, twisting the body. And exhale, straighten it back. Inhale, take the right knee to the right nose, best you can, lifting that foot high as you come to your plank, pressing firmly to the palm, curling the spine, and pressing it back. Lower that right leg to meet the left. We'll do it on the left side, pressing the left heel straight back behind us. Inhale, come into the plank on the exhale, bringing the left knee to the left elbow. Pressing it back on the exhale. Inhale, the left knee to the right elbow. Twisting the body. And exhale, press it back. Last one, knee to nose. And we'll press it back to the down. Bringing the feet to meet each other. Bring our knees to the mat. Knees wide on the corners, edges of the mat. Toes together. Allowing the butt to just rest onto the feet. We'll come into a child's pose. Just so you can relax for a moment. Allowing your forehead to come to the mat. Coming back to your breath. Come back to that breath that we had at the beginning of the class. Finding your inhale for 4 seconds and holding. Appreciating the breath that we have. Appreciating this community that we have right now. We're all sharing with each other any way we can. Just take a moment to relax there. Heat the body up a little bit and let it cool down before we go to our next positions. From your child's pose, begin to look up between the thumbs with your gaze and slowly take the elbows to 10 and 2 as your chest slides forward. It's what we call a sneaky up dog. As you slide forward, press into the palms as your chest comes up. Pressing firmly into the hands. Toes pressing into the mat. Then we'll lower it down. We'll take it easy and we'll press back into our table pose. Again, we'll let the belly drop towards the thighs. Coming up with our knees off the mat again. We'll slowly come up into our downward dog. Allowing our heels to press into the mat. The fingertips forward, shoulders down the spine. We'll lift the right leg up. Pressing into the heel behind you. On the exhale, pull that knee to the nose. And allow the foot to come between the hands. Allow your hands to frame the foot. The right foot comes forward, left knee comes to the mat. Drop the left knee down. Put the left foot flat on the floor, top of the foot on the mat. Slowly walk your hands up to your knee. Do a little hip flexor on the left side, pressing firmly into the palms, into the thigh. Allowing that left hip to come forward a little bit. Keeping the hips square. Same motion as we had when we were doing our Sphinx. You want to feel that action of the left knee sliding forward. So you feel that stretch down the left side of the front of the hip. Pressing firmly into the right. Take the left hand up, your long extension as we drop into that hip. Feel the stretch from the fingertips to the knee. Take a deep inhale and slowly rock it over to our right side with a little stretch. Remember this hand here in front of us, use the support on top of the knee. And straighten up. And then we'll lower our hands back to the floor. Step back into our plank. Slowly lowering down for a 5 count with the elbows beside the ribs. Slow little push as we come down to the mat. Resting on the belly, pressing the feet firmly into the floor. On the inhale, we're going to lift up into that downward dog, upward dog. Stretching lower back. And exhale back down. Lifting up into the table. Curl the toes under. Dropping the butt to the heels. Belly to the thighs. Pressing firmly into the hands, fingertips. Slowly lift up into your downward dog. Heels going towards the mat. We're going to lift that left leg up. Pressing firmly back. Come forward, bring the left knee to the nose. Drop the left foot to the floor, allowing the right knee to come down as well. Top of the left foot, right foot is on the floor. As you slowly climb up to the thigh, pressing firmly into the left thigh, left hand. Again, feeling that stretch right here. That action of sliding the knee as you feel the stretch. Hips square. On the inhale, we'll take the right hand up. Take a deep inhale, and then exhale, pulse it over. Inhale, lift. Exhale, pulse. Inhale, lift. And exhale, pulse. Come back down. Drop the hands to the floor. Back to our plank. Another slow little push-up. If you need to, you can come to your knees as you hold this position. And we'll slowly lower it down for a 5 count. Elbows tight to the ribs. Inhale, lift. And exhale, lower down. And back into your table. Toes curl under. Belly to the thighs, we'll roll it back into our downward dog. From this position, we'll lift the right leg up. And we'll bring the right leg forward, but on the outside of the right hand. You can bring the left knee down. This is our lizard pose. This is going to give us some internal stretch inside the inside of the right hip. If you're comfortable and you're flexible enough, make sure your knee is over the ankle. Knees coming towards the shoulder. You can begin to lower your elbows to the mat. Feeling that stretch inside the inner left hip. Only go where your body can let you go. Listen to the story that it tells you. Just listen. Some of you are more flexible. You can come up onto the toes of the left foot, lifting the left knee off. Some of you are still more comfortable when you can bring your head actually to the mat, or your chest. Me, not me, I can't do that, but if you got it, go with it. From this position, we'll slowly walk it back to our half split, allowing our toes to curl back towards us as we drop back. Keeping that hip over the left knee, extending that right leg out, pull those toes back, and just slightly start to point the toes to the left and the right. Just feeling that hip in the hip socket where the femur meets. Little rotation, little lubrication. In this position, if you can, try not to curl the spine. Keep the belly to the thighs. Keeping it low, feeling that stretch in the block of the hamstring on the right leg. All right, we'll slowly roll back up onto the foot. Our hands around that foot. Come into the toes of the left foot. Keep the right leg back into our plank. And again, we'll lower down slowly. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower down. Into our table. Curl the toes. Step into the thighs. Pressing firmly back, lifting the tail. Back into your downward dog. Leg straight, lift the left leg up this time. Inhale, inner right, left foot on the outside of the left hand, dropping the right knee to the floor, stretching up, and bringing the elbows to the mat. Again, remember to keep the left knee over the ankle, and that knee pulled in tight. Stretching out the inner hip. Like I said before, if you did it on the right side, make sure you have balance. Do the same on the left. If you went up on your toes and lifted your right knee, Pull right down. Begin to walk it back and we'll go into our half split. Extending our left leg out, pulling our toes back towards us. Looking up, look at the chin and then lowering down. Try and keep that belly on the thigh. Rotate the femur and the hip socket, point the toes to the right and the left. Doing all that mobility. Slowly curl back up onto the foot. Framing the hands around the foot, stepping back to our plank. This time we'll go from our plank and we'll just begin to lift our tail. Coming into our downward dog, that upside down V. We'll lift the right leg. Step the right leg inside the right hand. A little low lunge there with our knee off the floor. We'll take our right hand inside of our right ankle, and we'll slowly begin to lift the left. As we pivot the left heel to the floor, like we did earlier with that side plank, keeping the ankle in line with each other, we'll peel the left arm up. And again, we'll do that rotation, bringing the left arm over the head, coming forward and around. Yep, you got it. Keeping that knee over the ankle, weight going to the outside of the foot there, tucking this hip underneath you. Hold it up high right there. Rotate it one more time. This time, from hold the position there, and we'll begin to, from there, we'll bring the right elbow on top of the right thigh. Keeping that same stance, our hip tucked underneath, knee on top of the ankle, extend the hand up high. We'll let the arm fall back, a little rotation. Sorry, towards the back, a little internal, external rotation here. Go. And this time around, we'll allow that hand to lift us up. Just keeping that base, that same position. You want the energy to come up through the feet, into the knees, into the hips. Shoulders over the hips. Square the body off. Bring your hands towards you. Just bring your palms to your chest. Just feeling that squareness of the body. And then slowly press the hands out. Keeping the shoulders over the hips. You're going to come onto a T. Keeping your gaze over the middle finger. Dropping down, keeping that 90-degree there. Your 45 back there. And we're going to just bounce the hands a little bit. Just bounce them out a little bit. Start to slow it down. Bring that elbow back to the knee. We'll take a rotation underneath. We'll lift it up. As we come up, we'll straighten the right leg. Taking the left hand to the outside of the left thigh. Lifting the right hand up high into a peaceful warrior. Take inhale, stretching the ribs on the left side, right side. And then exhale, we'll take the elbow back to the knee. And bring the left hand over top. Inhale. And exhale, we'll straighten the leg out again. Stretching them high. Inhale. And then exhale it back forward. Right elbow on top of the right thigh. And over the top of that. One more. Lift up. This time we'll rotate the hands back around the feet, bending into that knee, pivoting the foot back up onto the toes. Stepping back with the right foot, lowering down slowly. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Toes curl. Lift up into our downward dog. Left foot goes up. Step it through between the hands, pivoting the right foot to the floor, ankles in line. Left hand comes inside the left foot as you rotate. Slowly bring the left elbow on top of the left thigh. Keep that rotation. All right, on the third one, we'll use that momentum to carry ourselves up. Keeping our position, coming into our warrior two. Again, keeping the hips open, hip underneath you, 90 degrees in the front, pressure to the outside of the right foot, and begin to bounce the hands. Means making sure the body's squared, shoulders over the hips, a little bounce. This is your strong position. We all need to be warriors at this time. This is our little army. Thank you for joining. No drafting, joiners only.
You can recruit though.
We can recruit, yeah, we can do that. Slow it down. Bring that elbow back here. Take the rotation underneath. As we come up, we'll straighten the right leg. Allow the left leg, I'm sorry. Right hand comes to the thigh, reaching up high to your peaceful warrior. Inhale, and then exhale. And then elbow back down. Inhale, lift. And exhale it back down. Into the warrior. Inhale, straighten the left leg. Left hand to the sky. Bringing that peacefulness. And then exhale. Rotate the pinwheel and the hands back down on the foot. Getting the right leg back, left leg back, I'm sorry, into our plank. And we'll slowly lower it down. Coming up. Lowering down. Curls toe under, toes curl under, slight push up. Lifting back up into our downward dog. Hips come high. This time we'll lift our left leg. Stepping the left foot through. Inside the left hand. We'll walk our hands over to the right corner of our right on the mat. Pivoting that heel to the floor on the right side. We'll slowly walk the hands down a little bit, feeling that stretch in our back. And then we'll begin to straighten the left leg, making sure that knee stays in line with the toes. And then exhale, come back and bend the leg. There you go. Inhale, straighten. And exhale, bend it. Inhale, straighten it. Exhale, bend it. On the next inhale, slowly walk the hands further over as you straighten the leg. Exhale it out one more time with the bend. Then we'll come back up. We'll pivot the feet so they're parallel to one another. Come into our little triangle stance with our legs here. Put our hands directly under our shoulders. Take our right hand, place it right underneath our face, and slowly lift the left arm up to the sky. Keep our spine long, extending from the hips up to the top of the base of the head. Take a deep inhale, so take the gaze up to the left thumb. Nice rotation. Take a deep inhale. Exhale, lower the hand, allowing the left hand to replace the right. Take an inhale and raising the right hand up. Bring both hands under the shoulders. We'll take our hands to the outside of our feet and allowing our head just to drop. Just keeping all that weight going to the outside of the feet. That's your base. Allowing the head just to hang heavy. Just allow the body to hang heavy. Feel that stretch in the back of the hamstrings. You're just letting the body just hang here. No pressure. Just let it hang. If you need to bring your hands in, allow your hands just to hang underneath you. If you need extra support, place your hands underneath you. Just allow that weight. And allow your belly to come between the hips a little bit. We'll slowly take our hands on our hips, pressing firmly to the outside of our feet. Begin to lift, keeping the torso parallel to the floor. All that weight is going down the side of the legs into the floor. Inhale, lift it straight up. Clasp the hands behind the back. Lift the chest, take your gaze up, and fold, hinge at the hips, allowing the hands to lift the shoulders. The hands coming forward, allowing the weight to come forward, stretching out the shoulders. Sliding those shoulder blades down the spine, don't crunch the neck. Allow that weight to come forward. Place the hands on the mat. Pivot to the left foot back to the front of your mat. Come up to the toes to the right. Frame the foot with the hands. Both hands around the foot and step it back. Come into your downward dog. This time lifting the right leg. Stepping through the hands, allowing the hands to frame the foot. Allowing the left heel to pivot to the floor. Bring the right hand over to the left. Both hands extend to the corner of the left side of the mat. Again, feeling that hip stretch. Keeping the hip tucked underneath. Knee over the ankle. Take a deep inhale. Stretch it out. On the inhale, straighten your leg. Exhale, bend it. Inhale, straighten. Exhale, bend it. Being mindful, keeping that knee going towards the toe so you don't damage anything inside the thigh. Next inhale, walk the hands further. Exhale one more time, bending into the knee. Pivot the feet, parallel. This time, we're going to bring your hands to your hips. I'll show you guys, hands to the hips. The feet parallel. Take our hands up to the sky. Coming straight up. And we're going to drop into the goddess pose. Pointing the toes out, heels come in underneath the knee. Put our hands up. We drop the hands down to the heart. Allow them to flow through. Inhale, lift them up. And exhale it down. Inhale, lift. And exhale it down. Inhale, lift. Exhale it down. We'll sit in this position here. Slowly lower the bum a little bit. If you need to bring your feet further in, go ahead. We'll press our hands on the inside of our thighs. Slowly drop the right shoulder inside as you press into the inside of the right thigh. No twist. Coming back up. Opposite side, left shoulder drops down. And no twist. Again, bringing those hands to our hearts. In our goddess position. It's goddess because we know the goddesses out there are much stronger than us guys in the legs. So go ahead, goddesses. Drop it down. Over that butt. Drop it down. You got it. Through those hips. Keeping that spine straight. Put our hands to our knees and we'll slowly begin to bring our hands to the floor. Walking the feet in more and more. We'll come into what we call malasana. This is our garland pose, just like a reef. So we have our feet underneath us if you can. Have your feet on the floor, heels on the floor. Elbows pressing into the inside of the knees. Hands to the heart. Spine straight and erect. Take a deep breath, feel those hips stretch. All right, a little more for us. Take your right hand and make a fist, pressing into the left palm. Dropping that hip, lifting the chest. If you're comfortable there, we'll do two fists facing each other. A little bit more pressure on the inner thighs. Bringing our hands to the mat, we'll slowly lift our hips. Keeping those feet wide, toes pointing out. Straightening the legs, feeling a different sensation as we fold forward with our feet pointing out. Slowly begin to walk your feet in towards you. Come onto your toes, bending your knees, and slowly begin to squat down. You can bring your knees to the floor, feet flat on the floor, sitting on your heels. A lightning pose here, just to relax for a second. Got a lot of energy running through those hips. Just take a moment to mindful, allow the body to relax. All right, we'll just swivel onto that hip, kicking our feet out in front of us. A little bend in the toes here. Bend the legs, and we'll slowly put our hands on the floor next to us. Knee back, little boat pose. We'll lift our leg parallel to the floor. Bring our hands up beside those, and we'll slowly lower down. Don't allow the feet to touch. Looking at the toes, firm in the belly. Exhale, lift. Inhale. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift. And exhale, lower. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift. Hold it. Feet parallel. You got it, you got it, you got it. Lift them, lift them, lift them, lift them. Hold it. This is for you. No one's around. I see you, Chico. And lower down. Bend your legs, bring your feet to the edges of your mat, allow your knees to drop in. We're just gonna let our legs windshield wiper. So we'll drop the knees over to the right.
Feet flat.
Feet flat. Inhale, lift them, and exhale, over to the side. Inhale to the middle, and exhale to the right. Inhale to the middle, and exhale to the left. Inhale to the middle, and exhale to the right. Hold it to the right, lift that right ankle up, place it on the outside of the left knee. And again, just allowing the body just to weigh on top of itself, no pressure. Taking the left arm out, left palm to the floor, looking to your left. Allow your body to stretch and twist as the weight goes to the right and left at the same time. Feeling that stretch in the front side of the left body. Slowly walking that left foot underneath the left knee, keeping that right ankle on the top of the thigh. Come into a figure four. In our figure four pose, we'll take our hands, and we'll reach through, either grabbing the back of the hamstring or in front of the shin. Keeping that sacrum pressed to the floor, that lower back pressed firmly into the floor. The higher you lift your left foot, the more pressure you're going to apply to that hip on the right side. So slowly lift that right leg up, that left foot up a little bit, and you'll feel that pressure. Flexing the right toes to protect the knee as well, keeping it firm. Begin to lift the leg a little higher as the hip comes closer, as your shin comes closer to your chest on the right. Use your right elbow to press into the thigh, opening up the hip a little bit. And we'll slowly lower that left foot to the floor. Releasing the right leg, feet on the edges of the mat, knees together. And slowly exhale, dropping the legs to the left. Inhale, we'll lift them. Exhale over to the right. Inhale, lift. And then exhale to the left. Take the left leg on top of the right thigh again. Right hand goes out, extends long, palm into the floor. That twist in the body, creating that stretch in the front of the right side of the body. Just relax into it. Taking your gaze over to the right. Come back to your breath, like we did in the beginning. Being mindful of the breath and the body at the same time. That beautiful union that we seldom recognize. Slowly begin to walk that right foot underneath you as it comes underneath the knee. Left ankle still on top of the thigh. Reaching through, grabbing the back of the hamstring or the shin, whatever's more comfortable for you. We'll slowly lift our right foot off the floor. Remembering to keep the foot flexed on the left side to protect the knee. Pull the toes back. I know it sounds technical, but it's very important. You don't want to hurt yourself. Pressing the left elbow to the left thigh. Lifting the right foot slowly, feeling a deeper stretch. Now your head lays flat on the floor. Relaxing the body on the upper shoulders. No tension, no crunching. It's all in the hips. Just listen to the body. Lowering that right foot to the floor. Bring the left knee as well. Extend the legs out in front of us. Come into your relaxation pose. Allow your hands to fall to your sides, with your eyes closed. Let the breath come back to normal. No controlling the breath. Allow the feet to fall to the side as they may. Allow the body to relax. Palms up, hands out to the sides. Shoulders tucked underneath your back. And just relax. This is called our relaxation pose. Some call it the dead pose. It's symbolic because as we come to our mat, we have everything that we bring with us in our beginning. As we go through these positions, these asanas, connecting our breath with our body movement, we leave it all here. All of that is gone. This is the end. This is our resting pose. This is our dead pose. That is all gone. All that we brought was shed away. Being mindful of the body parts that brought us here, our feet, our ankles. Take a moment to think about these parts of the body, the knees, the thighs, the hips, the lungs, the mind. Slowly roll onto the right side of your body for your new beginning. We'll come into our fetal pose, our beginning pose, our birth pose. Roll onto the right side of your body with your knees bent, supporting yourself. Take a moment to thank yourself. Thank yourself for these moments of, hardship and uncertainty and worry. But just know that we're here with you. We are all one. We are one community. Anytime you need us, fortunately we have social media. You can reach out to us anytime you need. Slowly extend that left leg out as you slowly press your right hand to the floor, bringing the body up to the front of your mat in a cross-legged position. I know we're running out of time right here. I don't want to rush us through, but we must end. Take a deep inhale. Let it out through the mouth. Deep inhale. We take our hands to our heart in a prayer position. Lifting our heads to our foreheads. I'd like to thank Ryan and all the teachers that come before me. Thank you for joining me and sharing my energy and my passion. Namaste. Be well. Thank you. Enjoy your day. Be there for one another.